Hard to watch. Dems under scrutiny amid government shutdown. And rightfully so. I talk about it time and time again since the shutdown that the mainstream media, most of the mainstream media is pretending like it's the Republicans' fault, when in actuality it's the Democrats' fault that this shutdown is happening, because like they voted for like 13, 14, 15 times to open the government, and it is a clean CR, no strings attached, just to keep the government running for a few more months and people get their SNAP benefits and stuff like that. Democrats are like, no, unless we can pay for, or we can give medical pay for medical for illegal immigrants, we don't want to do this. That's what the real thing is. They're holding our basically our economy, because our economy is tied to our government. Not only the government shut down, it's the economy shut down pretty much. They're holding the whole country hostage for illegal immigrants. So we're gonna play the clip and hear what they have to say about it on Fox Business. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. There you'll find a link to my Patreon, where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get right to the clip here. Here we go, y'all.
Failing Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson furthering his feud with President Trump. This time he's turning to the do-nothing United Nations to trash President Trump's immigration and cuts to SNAP.
We are here because the federal government under the Trump administration has failed to meet even the most basic expectations of transparency and accountability before this council. In Chicago, we live with the consequences of that moral failure every day. Families torn apart by immigration raids. Black and brown communities contend with deepening cycles of poverty while federal programs that once sustained them are gutted.
Imagine if Democrats go so hard like this for the American people. Imagine that. No, they rather shut the government down for people that shouldn't even be here in the first place.
Joining us now is House Ways and Means Committee member, New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. You know, Congressman, there's a number of different ways we could go with this, like spending his time talking to the UN about huge problems in his own city that are the fault of him and Democratic leadership. Setting that aside, though, he's whining about SNAP. Couldn't he just tell his own party, we need you to reopen the government?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go and vote on the floor. They've given them 14, 15, I don't know how many chances they've had. And, you know, really, President Trump, to his credit, has done everything he can to alleviate the pain that the Democrats are trying to inflict on the American people. You know, finding money in research and development accounts to help our troops and help them get paid, using tariff money to help with the WIC payments, trying to find a way to get to the SNAP payments. But guess what? They're in a contingency fund for a real emergency, not one created by the Democrats to use as leverage and use the American people to shut down the government on their own spending levels. So, you know, it's absurd. They just lie and look at the camera, read talking points. You know, it's just insane. I mean, it's hard to watch.
And I will note that the administration did just file with the Supreme Court a motion regarding the judge's order that was trying to force full payment on SNAP. So the Trump administration has taken this SNAP case all of the Supreme Court, because once again we had judges trying to supersede what is happening with the legislative branch. I want to move on to this, Congresswoman. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries had a not so nice response when asked about Congresswoman Elise Stefanik running for governor of New York.
Elise Stefanik is nothing more than a handmaiden for Donald Trump's extreme policies. She's a sycophant who has been a repeated rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda.
Congresswoman, your reaction to that?
Boy, are they triggered by conservative, principled women. This is the same guy who has a long record of anti-Semitism, who said blacks who are conservatives were Uncle Toms. He's written about this, and now he's attacking a conservative woman for standing up for law and order, or for economic benefits and prosperity for her own state in a rural upstate community. And he's using some kind of sexist trope against her, calling her a handmaiden. It's just absurd, but it just shows who he is. He's a weak leader. He's feckless. He has been just taken over by the far left. They're all falling in line with Mondami, who's his own set of conundrums each and every day, talking about Marxism and envy and everything that stands opposite of what our founders gave us in this wonderful gift of self-governance.
Low rent
Congresswoman,
Obama.
Does someone like Stefanik have a real chance of winning this race statewide next year? Because Tuesday night was not great for the GOP. You looked at some of the voting patterns there. Hochul is a complete disaster, but this is still quite a blue state. What's your assessment of Stefanik's announcement?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say New Jersey is a very blue state that went blue. Virginia is a blue state that went blue. New York City is bluer than blue, and it went blue. No surprise. Everybody knew that was going to happen. But let's tell you about upstate New York. We had all kinds of wins for Republicans in various places. Big, blue cities turned red. Now, we had a couple of blue cities that turned blue, and they were barely red. So, what the secret to this is, you've got to get a certain amount out of New York City, like Lee Zeldin did, and then you've got to get your vote out in upstate New York. And the Republicans didn't turn out. So the challenge for Elise and all of us is to make sure we get the vote out on the Republican side. And I think the damage that could be and will be caused by Mondami and the Marxists who actually run Albany as well, when you see high taxes, out-migration, and no one to pay the bills, it's going to be ugly, and you're going to see a real problem, and people are going to be looking to another answer other than Governor Cuomo or Governor Hochul, who, by the way, endorsed Mondami early. Even give it, whether you like Chuck Schumer or not, and I totally disagree with his using this shutdown as leverage. He never endorsed Mondami and wouldn't even admit who he voted for, because he knows even if he doesn't run again, his legacy is not going to be to support a Marxist. So right now, she has a good shot. And if the Democrats continue on the road they're on, I think that people are going to start coming out with exasperation in upstate New York. It's our last chance, I think, to really take back this state.
Really quickly, Congresswoman, and every one of these Democrats is going to have to answer for every single screw up by Mondani for time to come.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how transactional he is, or how much his soaring Marxist rhetoric is going to take over and get through the legislature that he needs for some of it, and also the city council.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that city council. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, have a fantastic week.
Yeah, I can't wait. Y'all know I'm going to be covering everything on Mondani as he destroys New York City. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.